sports fans out there in the tubosphere, welcome to Gen 3.0 of the OMSR. This is the Vortex Guide. It's designed to keep your attention while I explain a few things about how the good ship sports clip Lollipop on YouTube has sailed. And what that means is, to get anything substantial of any sporting event beyond your 2 and 3 minute bit clips, there has to be an amalgamation of minimal use with original content. So it's not my first choice to have to do a show on each and every one of these. But the latest cottage industry just brought up vis-a-vis YouTube are these professional, quote-unquote, channel builders, who are just a bunch of PAB licensee. What's PAB? You'll figure it out. But it's very easily abused. As some of you may know, the third-party content ID system, they say jump and YouTube says how high. We're not going through that anymore. I've had dealings with them. If you see 15 minutes of vid length, it's not a 15-minute sports highlight reel, but you're still getting in the high single-digit minutes worth of sports. And if it's 9 minutes, that factor still remains. So please save the comments for the actual sporting event, because we're bringing you more than you're going to get anywhere else. And it's all covered by the DMCA. Longer shows will cover that. After the sporting event, I'll go into a rant about these two entities you have to worry about if you're trying to cover especially college sports. And with regard to the promotional vid, give it a chance. It's much shorter than this outline. It's for a product that actually works and is cool, and I think a lot of you guys could use. Roll.
Time, it's the music, it's the game, and my goodness, how could you walk away from what a game looked like, one that should have been or could have been walked away? Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Steve Young, as the 49ers and the Ravens put something together that, well, there's always a curveball in there. We had quite a few, Tom.
Well, we had a curveball. I hesitate to call it a classic. Great win for the Baltimore Ravens, and the 49ers will be second-guessing themselves the entire offseason about the way this game was played.
Well, look, the resiliency of the 49ers, looking flat on their back, obviously the delay was a huge advantage, but you could see the explosiveness that they had. They're going to be very regretful, but Joe Flacco threw this team to this championship. When early he threw it to take the lead, and late he threw it to go finish the game and tilt the field back when everything seemed lost.
And Anquan Bolden was part of that dynamic duo.
Well, a lot of guys
made every catch, though. Anquan, every catch that had to be made. Critical situations.
And so, early on opening drive for the Ravens, Joe Flacco to Torrey Smith. 20 yards, and that's what he can do, go deep and go right. So 3rd and 4 in the drive. Flacco will float it, and Anquan Bolden behind 49ers catches a 13-yard touchdown, 7-0.
3rd down conversions for touchdowns. Absolutely, they tested the middle of the field to play before. They go back to it. Anquan Bolden, to your point, Tommy, made all the big catches.
So young Colin Kaepernick making only his 10th start. Kaepernick to Michael Crabtree, a gain of 19. And so with the game beyond here, very early on, 2nd and 3rd, Frank Gore makes a move. It's a 5-yard run for a 1st down as Ray Lewis missed one.
Well, we didn't hear a lot from Ray Lewis early on in this football game and maybe through the 3rd quarter, but it did make some plays late.
Now Colin Kaepernick to Vernon Davis, and both he and Ed Reed looked like they were hurt on the play. Davis actually came out. A couple plays later, 2nd and goal Kaepernick flush out of the pocket and the ball off the hands of Crabtree. He was open, but no.
I think that Colin was throwing this to Randy Moss.
Randy Moss was open at the back of the end zone.
And then the big play, Paul Kruger. Big plays, Ravens. This was one of them, a sack. San Francisco looked like they were rolling. They settled for an Akers field goal. Who was, well, everyone was on edge when he kicked it, but it was good, 7-3. Then Joe Flacco. He moved pretty well, Steve.
He moved and threw the ball from all over the field. He was backing up earlier. Now he's running the sidelines, making a great throw. Joe Flacco, we're talking about Colin Kaepernick this whole week is the only guy that can move around. Joe Flacco moved all over the field to throw that football.
3rd and 13, a few plays later, and now Ray McDonald has a sack. E-I-E-I-O, it's a loss of 5. The first quarter is over, and it's 7-3. So now here's San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick to Vernon Davis. It's 29 yards. First down, Niners. LaMichael James makes a move. He broke 1, 2, 3, but maybe shouldn't have broken a 4th tackle because the ball came out and Arthur Jones recovers it.
You know, we talked about big stages, young players, rookies. Here's a guy that's been a great spark plug for this football team, but on the big stage, the young players are the ones that turn the football over. Colin Kaepernick will in just a minute.
So now Flacco to Ed Dixon. And boy, they threw the ball in traffic, but the Niners had trouble covering, and the Ravens made many a big catch, and that was a face mask added on by Dante Whitner. And then, there it is. That was Dixon first. This is the Dixon play.
And that's the face mask right there that cost them half the distance.
And there it is to pin it for the touchdown. It's 14-3.
I thought that the lack of contact down in the red zone where you allow people to run to spots, Anquan Bolden did it, Pitta did it there, without being touched by the defense, you make things easy for the quarterback.
At this point, Colin Kaepernick looked like a gentleman making his 10th start at QB. The ball sailed. Ed Reed was playing center field, and the veteran Reed, in his hometown and home state, Louisiana, returns it to the 38-yard line, and then even both teams got into it. There were dual personal fouls. The coaches got on the field. That's enough, fellas.
I thought it was kind of funny because it just reminded me of the Harbaugh boys in their bedroom, right? It's very, I mean, I don't think there was much harm in it. But here's the big, I mean, Colin Kaepernick early did start to feel, I mean, you sense that he was rattled. It was a 10th game. You got to say, at some point that's got to show up, and now obviously he turns the corner here shortly.
Ed Reed's 9th pick, postseason tied for the postseason record. Flacco short to Ray Rice. 7 yards and a first down. Boy, Ray Rice did not mind being the workhorse running and receiving. 3rd and 9, Flacco overthrows to Torrey Smith, and the Ravens then line up for a field goal, but they're going to make it a 14-point game at 17-3. Uh-oh, it's a fake, and Justin Tucker, the rookie's going to run and not quite get it. Okay, a head-scratching gamble.
I think I think John was thinking as a knifing blow.
Yes.
You know, just something that's going to put this team on their back. A young quarterback looking like he was starting to get flustered. Let's put it, not put it away, but put it some distance. A big risk, no question.
So the Ravens turn it over on downs, but they force a 3-and-out, and Flacco to Jacoby Jones. And not only does he make the catch, this will not go as a turnover in the books, but 2 missed tackles and a touchdown of 56 yards.
When you realize that a team really profits off the deep ball the way they do, and you watch this little double move right there, again, I believe that you have to make contact at the line of scrimmage. Help has to be where it's supposed to be. This blow right here, I thought this was the kill shot.
I really did. I thought we've seen the 49er defense back end of it. The safeties and corners get exposed here towards the last month and a half. And certainly Joe Flacco blew that open.
21-3. So Kaepernick to Delaney Walker now with under 2 minutes to go. They want to get something. Paul Kruger again comes up big here as they really corralled Kaepernick's running lanes, didn't they?
And then you get a sense of what, not only the inexperience, but just the indecision. You can see Collins should have turned up and made this first down. As a young kid, put your head in, you know where the yardage mark is.
30-second clip either, or $1:14, or even $1:59. You know, the beauty of doing a show is you end up with a significantly, still slight and brief, longer highlight reel than all those other ones that I just mentioned that are all over YouTube. That's not the goal of this show here. Now, how is that possible? It's a little thing called the DCMA, which we adhere to strictly around here. The Digital Copyright Millennium Act. As the key tenets were hashed out as it pertains to YouTube more than ever. Really came about because of the Napsters of the world. Through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. And these are the fair use standard, derivatives, minimal use, no money exchange in hands, because the OMSR is a pro bono production. So I understand if a show's not your cup of tea. You can always fast forward on average 8 minutes, you know, thereabouts. We try to do at least 6 minutes worth of highlights. There. So you can go, do I have anybody's attention at this point? 1:43. Plus the intro, so that's my 2 minutes. I guess I'm up. I may not be talking to anybody. I'm not sure. I'm not dissing you guys watching now. I'm talking about how it was in the past. Alright, so you heard from Motley Crue. It's going to be our lead-in-to for a while, and are introduced by our Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts, U of U chapter, Alpha Tau, giving you props. So, yeah, all of these things being said, one more very important thing. This show is copyrighted to the OMSR with brief video highlights courtesy to CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN, Pac-12 networks, and or any of their affiliates. The OMSR does not own these video highlights, but does own all the other original content and the overall concept herein, thereof, therefore, most rights reserved. Now, one more note, going to change it up a little bit. All images not of OMSR provenance were obtained through the public.